So we're here with Pankaj Kedia of Intel. Pankaj is responsible for the ecosystem of the Ultra Mobility Group. Thanks for your time, Pankaj. Now, you've got a number of devices in front of you here. We've seen some of these at PepCom and at CES and IDF before. A nice range of devices showing where the Moorestown and Menlo platforms fit into the Ultra Mobility sector. But what I want to ask you is about the announcement from yesterday, MeeGo, the joint venture for Nokia and Intel to bring MIMO and Moblin together as one operating system stack. Maybe you could quickly tell us what you think MeeGo means to the ultra mobility sector. There's been a lot of focus on netbooks and the numbers of devices out there, but what about the ultra mobility sector?
So Steve, welcome, good to see you again. Out there in the market, there is convergence happening. Computing devices are becoming communication devices. Communication devices are getting compute religion. We have been talking to Nokia for some time. Our visions happen to align. We see a converged world where every device computes, every device communicates. So we saw Moblin, which is a very good compute OS. MIMO has been gaining good ground as a comms-oriented OS. We looked at both of them. We decided to combine them because we think 1 + 1 is greater than 2. With MeeGo, now you get a more robust OS. You get the same API layer across the two OSs. That makes it easier for developers to write to one broad set of installed base or upcoming devices. You literally write once and your application goes across a range of platforms. So we are very excited about it. MeeGo takes us one step closer to our vision. It goes across devices, across platforms, and it's truly an industry initiative.
You've got an innovation center in Taiwan, I think, that works on Moblin. A couple of hundred people there, I believe, and hundreds more around the world. Nokia have clearly hundreds of people contributing to MIMO as well. That's a huge developer base or a contributor base. In fact, potentially one of the biggest contributor bases in the world for a distro. Do you think you could be number one as the mobile operating system, or are you taking small steps?
Started, Steve. Moblin has a lot of momentum. We have hundreds of people at Intel working on Moblin. More importantly, we have 15 or so OSVs deploying Moblin. We have a very exciting community working on Moblin. The same is happening on the MIMO side with Nokia. Lots of people, good developer community, lots of excitement in the community. You bring the two communities together, we think you'll see a 1 + 1 greater than 2 effect. So I'll let you figure out where, in terms of numbers, where will MeeGo be.
Last year at IDF we talked about Moblin 2.1 for handhelds. We talked about a beta release that might have come out around Christmas time. That didn't happen. Are we going to see beta releases of MeeGo come out, or will there be a single release coming out as a production release for OEMs to take?
Yeah, so let me correct you. 2.1 beta release did come out. We are shipping production to customers over the next 30 or 45 days, right? So Moblin 2.1 is ready. The next version of Moblin, which was going to be 2.2, is now going to be called MeeGo version 1. The same thing will happen on the MIMO side. The MIMO roadmap essentially merges with the MeeGo roadmap. So the first release of MeeGo, we announced yesterday, will come out in Q2.
We've seen roadmaps for Moblin for 2010, which include multi-touch and a lot of other features. Does that roadmap stay, or do you think the transition to MeeGo stalls that slightly?
No, it does not stall, it accelerates it. So the features we have committed in the past will be delivered on schedule, and you will get more features, because combining the two, think of it as a superset, not as a subset.
And in terms of years, how long term is this strategy? We can see to 2011 for the Medfield platform. You've talked clearly about 2010 for MeeGo. What about beyond that? How far in the future is Intel planning? How many steps forward do you plan in terms of years?
Yeah, we look out 5, 7, 10 years out, right? This is a long-term story for Intel. This is a big opportunity, growth opportunity for Intel. So this is absolutely a long-term play. If you think about how big the opportunity is, across all of these segments, each one of these segments is 100 million or more kind of opportunity over the next 3 or 5 years. Each one of these segments is fragmented today. They are looking for a standards-based open software stack that goes across these segments. That's what MeeGo will bring.
A question about the app stores. It sounds like OV and the Intel App Store framework will remain separate. Is that going to be the case? They will remain separate, so developers will still have to submit to 2 application store frameworks. Yeah, so what we announced yesterday was MeeGo is one OS, one software platform, and so you can expect to see tools and SDKs based on that software platform. The distribution is going to be separate. If it is a Nokia based product, then OV is the distribution mechanism for the App Store or for your apps. If it is some other customer's product based on Atom, then Intel Atom Developer Forum and the App Center will be the distribution mechanism. Okay. I was at the MIMO Summit last year in Amsterdam. 300 very intelligent and excited developers got together for a couple of days. I was at DevMob in London last week, where we talked about some Intel and Moblin-based stuff. Can we expect some developer conferences in 2010 to bring the developers together? And have you got anything planned already in that respect?
Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm not as close to the developer conferences.
Right. So thanks, Pankaj Kedia, for your time, and good luck for 2010 and the 5, 7 or 10 years in front that you're planning for MeeGo and the ultramobile ecosystem. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for coming.